So I recently posted up some pictures of me, you know, being overweight, and the reason why I did it is because of the fact that I want to expose myself. I want to put myself on blast, and I want you all to see the state that I was in, because I reverted back to actually eating a diet where I didn't care what I ate, with the exception of meat. And I went on a binge. And in the very beginning, I was in shape, I was good, and something told me, when I took a bite of that first cheese pizza, that, yo, man, don't do that, because that's an old habit. And that old habit that you had was very hard to break, because, originally was born and I lived in New York, and I'm used to eating cheese slices, on the go. I'm used to getting a cheese slice, 2 cheese slices, and putting some hot pepper on it, folding them up and eating them, especially when it's cold in New York. I mean, you can't beat it. But I said to myself, yo, don't do that, because that's a bad habit that you broke already. And I'm getting to the point. Hear me out. It's a bad habit that you broke already, and you don't want to rehash a bad habit. But, not listening to my inner self, I listened to what my gut was saying, and I partake of the forbidden cheese pizza. And I found myself eating 3 or 4, and then after that, I wind up the next week ordering a pie, and the week after that, the same thing. And then I was eating a lot of French fries, and all of this is in combination. This just didn't happen overnight. This is, in combination of me having a bad diet, and eating what I wanted to eat, especially when I was on the go, when I was en route, like if I was doing Postmates, or if I was just out and about, going to and fro, and I decided that, I needed to stop and get me something to eat. A quick bite would be some French fries. A quick bite would be a sliced cheese pizza. Go home late at night, I'm drinking wine, and, I get hungry, and then, I'll make me some oven baked fries, or some of those Amy burritos that you can get at Harris Teeter. I think they got a Harris Teeter, Target, and somewhere else, especially Whole Foods, those places. But I put myself on blast so that you all can see what eating whatever you want to eat can do to you. Eating processed foods can do to you. Eating a whole lot of cheese can do to you. Eating a whole lot of starch, such as potatoes, mashed potatoes, grits, French fries, potato chips, can do to you. And that at the end of the day, if I would have practiced my vegan/vegetarian diet when I was, at my time of wanting a slice of cheese pizza, I wouldn't be in this situation. I can tell you that. Which leads to my point. When we start talking about, and I say we as a people, when we start talking about, eating right, blacks tend to shy away from that particular topic, or rather subject. And it's a shame, because the food that we eat kills us. It really does. It's up there with cigarettes. It's up there with alcohol. It's up there with substance abuse, period. We're the only race that suffers so many ailments. And it's a direct result from our poor eating habits. Now, some may sit back and say, well, a lot of black people are struggling. They, trying to rob Peter to pay to Paul, and you're living from paycheck to paycheck and all the rest of that. And I understand that. But what I don't understand is when a pair of Jordans is more important than what you put in your mouth. What I don't understand, the latest iPhone is more important than what you're drinking. That's something that I don't understand. Because see, I'm wired different. And the way that I'm wired is I'd rather spend a bunch of money on what's good for me, what I'm gonna put in my mouth that's good for me, than what's bad. I'd rather not wear my clothes. Excuse me, let me take that back. I'd rather not wear my food on my body. I'd rather digest my food. And what I mean by that is just think about how much groceries you could buy off of a pair of Jordans. The average pair of Jordans go for about $250. Just think about how much wholesome, healthy food that you can buy. And how many times you can go to Whole Foods, because a lot of you all complain about the price. How many times you can go to Whole Foods just by, leaving that iPhone there and using that $1,200, $1,300 that iPhone costs to buy some groceries and buy something that's healthy for you. If you say your family matters, if you want what's best for your family, because we tend to do that. We tend to say that, especially when it comes to Christmas. We'll tell everybody in the world, man, I'm going to give to my children that because of the fact that I didn't have. So I'm going to make sure my children didn't have. Well, guess what? You didn't have a good dietary habit. Your parents were poor decision makers when it came down to what you ate as a child. Why didn't you stop that? Why did you pass that on to them? Yeah, you made sure that they were spoiled with materialistic things, but what about them being spoiled with the food that they eat? Aren't they worth it? Aren't they worth it? Is the question. See, I know how to get back in shape, and it's not going to be a problem for me. You see? And the reason why is because I really, to be honest with you, I've never really ate dirty like that. Like, I live in the South, and I've been living in the South for years, but I've never indulged in chitlins, pig feet, and all of that stuff. I don't know what it's like to be addicted or connected to that. Ham and all of that stuff. I don't know anything about that. I mean, when I ate meat, the only thing that I really ate was like turkey bacon. I mean, I did have pork and sizzling beef. When I was living with my mother, she would serve us sausage link and, cheese. Well, not cheese eggs. She didn't do cheese eggs, but I did. But, cheese eggs. But we never ate bologna and stuff like that. You understand? So I'm not accustomed to that type of eating. So it wasn't nothing for me to become a vegetarian because, let's be real. My mother didn't serve us pork. We had pork chops once or twice. Outside of that, we didn't eat pork. We didn't have pork bacon. And then once I came of age around, I say my early 20s, like 22, I wound up living with my aunt. And my aunt, she's a Hebrew Israelite, and she doesn't eat pork. She doesn't eat beef. She doesn't eat anything but fish. And her fish of choice is salmon. So that's what I ate. I ate salmon and turkey ground when we ate like hamburgers and stuff like that, or turkey franks. We wouldn't eat pork. So it was nothing for me to become a vegetarian because I don't come from that like real deeply rooted, South as far as dealing with the soul food. You understand? So it's nothing for me to bounce back from this. But for others, it is. It is a lot because a lot of people grew up like that. A lot of people grew up with their bad eating habits. A lot. A lot of people grew up eating bologna. A lot of people grew up eating chitlins, pig feet, souse, and the list goes on. And if you had a Frank, it didn't matter what it was. It didn't matter whether it was a beef Frank, a pork Frank, a chicken Frank. It was a Frank. I've been over people's houses in the past, and I would ask, hey, what kind of Frank is that? They like, I don't know, it's a mixture of pig, chicken, and cow. Why are you worried about that for? And that's the problem. We don't worry about what we eat. So then once we start getting these ailments such as, heart disease, high blood pressure, diabetes, once big mama start, having the diabetic, going to a diabetic attack, or grandpa, or big papa, wind up having a stroke, after the fact, after the damage is done, that's when we start worrying about things. That's when you go to the doctor and they tell you, yo, you need to cut back on certain things. But they've been telling you that. It's just that black people don't listen, and black people want to do what they want to do. And I understand it to a certain extent, because here in America, there's a thing that exists that's called, black supremacy, and it run alongside with white privilege. So black people throughout all, America, we're told that we can't do certain things because of the color of our skin. So when we do have somewhat type of control, we tend to want to maintain control no matter what. And 3 of those things that we have control over is what we eat, is our religion, and politics. We could choose whether or not we want to be Democratic, or Democrats, or Republicans. We could choose whether or not we're going to be Christians and Muslims, or Hindus, practicing Hinduism or Buddhism, Buddhists. We could choose that. And we could choose what food we eat. And you can tell, because once you go out on a Saturday, you'll see an array of black people everywhere. Some of them eating Italian food. Some of them eating Chinese food. Well, some of them eating cat and dog, also known as Chinese food. Some of them eating, what you name it, international food. You know what I'm saying? East Indian food. Anything you name it that they can try, they're gonna try it out. And especially the food that's trending. And I hate it because most of the trends that we follow for as whatever food challenge it is, it always has to do with chicken. Go check out the Popeyes chicken. Then after that, the Kentucky Fried Chicken. The Big Chicken Sandwich, I'm sorry. Then Burger King came out with their Chick King sandwich. And then after that, Zaxby's came out with theirs. And black people just kept on patronizing and not ever asking a question. And that one question is, could you put the ingredients on the wrapper of the chicken sandwich so I can specifically know what the hell is in here? But I think at this point in time, black people don't even care, because they put they've been putting ingredients on the back of processed foods boxes and stuff like that, and black people still buy it. Because what we do is we look at imagery. And if the box says Velveeta, macaroni and cheese, and on a box, if the picture looks good, then we think it's gonna taste good and it's gonna look good. And we are such a gullible race when it comes to what we consume. We can easily be misled. And nobody puts a gun to our head. Nobody forces us to eat anything. So therefore, we cause our own demise, which is very shameful. It's just like, sometimes I think that black people may have mental problems, far from PTSD, post-traumatic slavery disorder. We're the only race that literally will kill itself. Self-genocide. If you want to say that the white man is the devil, if you want to say that the white man goes around killing black people, etc., etc., I'm not disagreeing with anything that you're saying, but what I will say is this. I will rebuttal and say, well, let me tell you something. Nobody has to go around killing us. We're doing a great job killing ourselves. And that's not as far as dealing with black on black crime. That's dealing with food genocide. It's the food that we eat. It's the food that we give our children's children. And we don't see it as being no problem. I stopped the generational curse because my grandmother took my mother to McDonald's. And my mother took me to McDonald's when I was younger. I used to love the Happy Meals and, you know what I'm saying, the little toys, right? I stopped that. My children don't even know if McDonald's is open or closed right now. They've never had one French fry from there. They don't even know what a McDonald's napkin looks like. And this is what we have to do. We have to stop this generational curse, and we definitely have to focus more on our health. Because we're too much focused on our outer appearance, and materialistic things would make us look good and not what's so much good for us. And if we did really pay attention to what we consumed in our bodies, guess what? We wouldn't have to spend so much money on cosmetics, costume jewelry, regular jewelry, expensive shirts and pants and clothes and stuff like that, nail polish, tattoos to decorate our bodies. We will already be shining. The only thing that you would have to put on is a t-shirt and some shorts, because your skin would be glowing, and you wouldn't have to put on no Make or Maybelline or none of that, the makeup that you women and some men use. We wouldn't have to do that. You talk about all of these problems that you have, whether it's hair loss, whether it's you having a shortness of breath, or you can't hardly breathe, and your side hurt and your back hurt. Your back's killing you. No, it's not your back killing you. You killing your back. You're the one that's putting a strain on your body. And then you want your body to work, to be functional, and you're feeding it dysfunctional food. What is your body gonna get out of a McDonald's meal? That doesn't make sense to me. When they say it's a meal, how? A meal consists of something that has nutrition in it. And there's nothing nutritious about McDonald's, even though that they have some of the ingredients posted up inside of the restaurant, fast food restaurant, and they have nutritional value. They have a chart with the nutritional value up there. There ain't nothing nutritional about any of that stuff. Because I always continue to say this, and I will continue to preach this. There's nothing nutritional about food that's prepared fast. Thus, you shouldn't be eating fast food. But who am I to tell you to stop? I would tell you to slow down. I would tell you to eat more lean meat, kosher meat, instead of eating those harsh red meat. I would tell you to slow down on the pork, slow down on the beef. Eat more chicken, eat more filet chicken, eat more fish, drink more water. And these are the things that you can do. And you may have vices, you may be addicted, you may to certain things, you may suffer from some type of substance abuse, you may be in a conundrum where you like smoking weed. But guess what? For now, let me tell you something is better than nothing. Because what you're doing now to your body, or what we all doing now to our body, is leading us to our demise. And it's that plain and simple. If you say you love your family, if you don't have a family yet, and you have a girlfriend or a boyfriend, and you say you love them, why not be around for them? Because let me tell you something that I hate hearing a woman say, I used to be. Well, I tell you what, I want to get rid of you, and I want to get the used to be you. Because that's who I can mess with. Because I see what you used to be in your virtual photo album. And I like that used to be person. But the person that you've become is somebody I despise. Because at the end of the day, when you see a person that's overweight and that really doesn't care about his body, his or her body, you know what that says? It speaks volumes. It says a lot about that person. It tells me and others that you're not disciplined at all, that you have no order in your life. And if you don't care about you, your body, and you, how are you able to care about me? And for that reason, I don't hang around those type of persons or people. That plain and simple. I'm only here to inspire, and I want you all to journey on with me as I make my transition from being out of shape to being in shape. Walk with me, literally. My name is Langston 2092. I want you to like, comment, subscribe, definitely share this video. I'm out. Peace. And this is the downtown Fort Mill for those that, really wanted to see it or whatever. But what I was talking about is way more important than this, but this is downtown Fort Mill. All right. Later.